Alright folks, welcome to another beer review, and once again we're going over to the Kernel out of London, and we're having a look at a bottle of the Baltic Porter, which is clocking in at 7.1%, and this was actually brewed on the 22nd of January this year. Really excited about this one to see how the Kernel would brew a Baltic, because I do like a good Baltic porter. One of my favourite sort of lager styles. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna fucking get my eye out with that, aren't I? One day. Using the fellow London-based brewery glass, Red Church. But yeah, hopefully with if we're on the right track and people are sensible and the government doesn't back out and because there's always a risk of false hope, isn't it, when they have these announcements? But yeah, fingers crossed, we'll be able to have some sense of normality, because if so, I'm planning on going to London for the London Craft Beer Festival. A little bit undecided if I want to actually buy tickets. I will definitely be going to London though, because I know a few of the guys, they're going to be at the festival, but part of me wants to do the whole festival and then just be with them all the time. But then part of me is like, well, maybe do 1 or 2 days, do a few sessions, and then the rest of the time just have a, mooch around London itself, and, go to like the Bermondsey Beer Mile, where I can go check out the Kernel. But I was like, you don't really have anyone else who you can meet up with. Do you know what I mean? So I'll probably just end up going to the London Craft Beer Festival. But hopefully we'll be able to fit in a trip to the Kernel. Anyway, I don't know how that's going to work logistically, but we'll see. I just want to get out of Scam. Do you know what I mean? And how far do I have to keep pulling this beer away and closing my eyes when I'm speaking? I'm a fucking idiot. Anyway, beer in a glass then, and yeah, that's looking exactly like a Baltic Porter. It looks like a black coffee. A lovely 1 finger's worth of beige head, looking very nice in this glass indeed. So let's see what we get on the nose. Oh yeah, beautiful roasted musky sort of malts. A subtle hint of a sweet smokiness. A little bit of a baker's chocolate. I rarely, like, sort of, not, what, how would I describe it? Because intense would be like it's a big, bombardment of aroma, but a big sort of robust, we'll use robust, even though could robust be a much more aggressive word than the previous one? What the fuck am I talking about? Yeah, it's got some really dark, steeped fruit characters to it. Fig, plum. It's even got a hint of like a doppelbock, which I suppose a Baltic Porter. Baltic. It's not too far removed from a German doppelbock, which is one of my just favourite sub-styles ever. Oh, but this smells good though. Fundamentally, it's a beautiful smelling beer. Drinking this at room temperature, didn't really want to chill it down. I like my dark lagers at room. But yeah, it just smells absolutely mesmerising. It really, really does. So without any further ado, let's give it a taste. Cheers, folks. Oh, wow. That does pack a punch. First of all, you can feel that that's got a 7.1% ABV. But you know, it's almost become, when you can taste the ABV of a beer, it sort of has negative connotations because of just how easy drinking a lot of beers, especially of higher strengths, have become. But this is packing a punch. Big, big, big sourdough flavour to it. Gently toasted sourdough. Or if you've ever done like sourdough in a toaster, where there's like, you know, where you get those sort of like sharp bits, you know, because the way it sort of bakes, and then you get like a bit of crust that sticks up, and it always sort of like catches a little bit on a shitty toaster. That's what I'm getting. But it's sort of burnt toast flavour, if you get what I mean. It's like burnt ends. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't really say, oh, it just smells like badly burnt meats. Burnt ends seem to have their own sort of like, their own sort of character, even though it is burnt meat. But yeah, a little bit meaty this as well. Bit of licorice coming through. Those sort of like plummy aromas that you got on the nose don't come out on the flavour at all. There's really no sweetness at all with this. Maybe the subtlest hints of sweetness. I'll tell you what, I'm all for it. Oh, you could cook with this. It's sort of like it's got a flavour of like a cooking sherry, but without the sweetness you get from a cooking sherry. Lovely bitter aftertaste on the back end. Lovely smokiness to it as well. Wow, this is good. This is really, really nice. I'm not sure if the recipe changes from Baltic Porter to Baltic Porter. It doesn't have any sort of additional information about what like sort of specific hop has been used on this batch, or whether they just, when they brew the Baltic Porter, they brew the same recipe. But I tell you what, that is damn good. That is really, really good. I've been so impressed with this order. I'm like a broken record now. Minus 2 beers, which haven't really done anything for me. I've been so impressed with this order that I've made from the Kernel. And I primarily got darker beers left over now. But yeah, this is just absolutely banging. It really, really is. It's just everything you want in a Baltic Porter, but just brewed beautifully well. Beautifully well. Yeah, I really can't fault it. I really cannot fault it. I'm getting like a slight cinder toffee character now, coming from the like sort of the back of my throat. You do get that sort of like that, like, you know, alcohol fumes. I'm getting a very subtle but satisfying, just little teasing of ABV in my throat. Yeah, this is lovely. Absolutely fantastic. I've not had many Baltic porters recently, but that's one style that I don't think I've ever been disappointed with, no matter what Baltic. Apologies if I'm saying that wrong. But yeah. The thing is with Baltic porters, I don't think I've had like a really traditional, authentic one. I've always had sort of like an interpretation of a Baltic porter from breweries who aren't necessarily known for those styles of beer. Daya did an absolutely fantastic one. Who else? Puyala, especially some of their Imperial Baltic porters. I've had a couple of German ones. Who else? Who else is there? There's loads. But yeah, this is a very, very satisfying beer. Highly, highly recommended. Beautiful, beautiful stuff indeed. So, yeah, if you've tried this, then let me know your thoughts, opinions down below. What's your favourite Baltic porter? Give me some, like, proper, authentic, like, highly regarded Baltic porters to try, because I'd love to pick up some. And yeah, what are your favourite Kernel beers? What are your favourite Baltic porters? Yeah, just hit me in the comments. Tell me how much of a knobhead I am. I don't care. It's a bit of a weird point to make. Anyway, I see someone's trying to call me, so I must end this video here. I'm just consistently bombarded every time people don't want to talk to me, usually. But as soon as I turn my camera on, or I'm on a live stream, just ring, 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 ring. Sorry, I shouldn't have thrown a bottle top at you. Anyway, go check out the Kernel, all their socials and their web shop. Highly recommended if you're in the UK. You could easily get yourself a full crate, and you know, you get a bit of discount when you do fill a crate up. So highly, highly recommended. And for the price, just one of the, yeah, it's just, I've said this in all of the previous Kernel beers in recent memory, so I won't say it again. I'll just turn this video off and yeah, just check out the Kernel. Fantastic stuff and a beautiful, beautiful beer.